Here's my review of If. I thought that this movie was very charming, and in many ways, I think that it feels like I've heard people compare it to like a live action Pixar movie, and I feel like I can see that. I think it has this beautiful charm and personality to it that I haven't really seen in many live action movies. It's kind of like this story has a bunch of different kind of not necessarily plots, but I guess feel plot points more to say where B discovers that she could see everybody's imaginary friends, and then after that she gets help from Ryan Reynolds' character, who he's great in here. He's just so like Ryan Reynolds. He's one of those actors where you could just watch him and he just has this natural charm to him, where I feel like some people don't like him, but I love Ryan Reynolds. I'm so excited for Deadpool and Wolverine this year, but anyways, has to help all of these imaginary friends that were created by people long ago get new kids. And I really liked it. There's this great dance scene I think at the beginning that basically kind of screams live action Disney movie, but I think that it's done a lot better than the live action Disney movies, but at least the live action remakes. But I thought that that was just a lot of fun. I mean, I do feel like nowadays, like some people I've heard that like Hollywood is trying to hide the fact that this is like if a movie's a musical, and this movie's not a musical. But I mean, I like these little musical segments. I thought that that was a lot of fun, and I think that we get this great scene with Blue, who's voiced by Steve Carell, where he eventually sees his friend, like his like kid, when like who created him as a child, at older, and it just gives this sense of like comfort because he's just so happy to see him, and it makes you just kind of this whole movie feels like it's just got that childlike aura to it, and I thought that it was really well done. And there's like this beautiful scene where Blue helps his kid, I believe his name is Kevin, I think, with like this confidence just by touching him. Like he can't see him, but he just like he's on this job interview and he just like touches like his shoulder and he just gives him this boost of confidence. I thought that was a really beautiful scene. I thought it was really well done. And I think that it's just got that overall kind of like it's not necessarily sadness, but it has that emotional punch because with B, like her father's in the hospital, and that's kind of why she starts seeing them in the first place. And it just kind of gives this kind of beauty to it. It just that makes it very, very cute and like I guess comforting. And another one I love of the imaginary friends or the ifs is Blossom, who has just such a unique design because it's like this 1930s ballerina cartoon style. It's just so unique, and and then we find out she was actually the imaginary friend for B's grandmother, and then basically she gives her like this sense of like comfort, and then it just kind of leads into this dance scene, and I thought that that was just a really nice scene, and I feel like the scene is like this whole movie is filled with like those little nice moments like that that just make it so good. And I would say like I do think that this whole movie definitely has that sense of like I don't want to say fear like definitely not, but I feel like at some point it almost feels like this sense of almost discomfort at certain points, like not the whole movie but it has it in order to make it feel more real, because at the end of the day I mean B's father's in the hospital and that's kind of what's making her see these like imaginary friends, and I thought that that was just kind of made it have that more of an emotional punch, and it made it feel more realistic and just gave it more to it. And yeah, I mean, everyone in this movie is great. I mean, Ryan Reynolds is great. Of course, Steve Carell as well. And this whole movie is just stacked with like tons of big names. Like, I mean, you got George Clooney in there. I mean, you got, and it's very fun because throughout the movie you can almost when you hear certain voices from these characters, you're like, oh, I know who that is. Like, Aquafina is in here, and this just kind of keeps going. And one of my favorite characters is like this detective. If it's very cool, and I mean Sam Rockwell plays the raccoon up here, and there's just a lot of fun stuff like that. And yeah, this is a movie I thought that was just very cute. There's a lot of stuff to like in here, and it's just really fun.